Hey guys, next up in our video series of Disneyland tips, tricks, and secrets, and just fun stuff in general is Toontown. So you can hear the music playing behind us. We're in the park here, right adjacent to all of the accents. So unlike some of the other areas of the park, it doesn't obviously have quite the history. It's nowhere near as old as most of the parks. So it doesn't quite have as much as that embedded in it. But that being said, I think there's a lot of fun little hidden things and cues. I mean, Roger Rabbit in particular. So we'll take a look around at a few things, give a few ideas. There's one definitely strategic point that we have in this part of the park that we'll share with you as you have fun. As we've said with all of the video series so far, and if you're just catching on to this video, go back and watch them in order, hopefully, because there's kind of a progression here as we make our way through the park. You know, this isn't meant to encompass everything that there is, because that would just be too long and too boring. So we just hit on some of our favorite things to share. Please share some of yours as well in the comment section, so anything we might forget or just didn't find as important that maybe you do, please add in the comment section on our YouTube channel here. So one big note, though, before we look around Toontown is just the hours here vary. And so right now, at the time of recording this, they've actually had much more expanded hours into the evenings than they do most of the year. So that being said, if Toontown is going to be a stop on your trip, and for some people it's not. Some of the people that don't have kids don't check it out, although I think Roger Rabbit is definitely a must. That being said, do check that out earlier in the day. What time are they closing up? Because with fireworks and things like that, they do close down frequently early. So let's go take a look around Toontown, find a couple fun things to share with you. All right, starting our tour around Toontown. First up, we're here right behind Minnie's house, where in the hedges and the bushes, Toonified bushes obviously behind. If you pay close attention, you can see that WDI is the shape of the bushes. It's hard to really get a good look. Any angle you come from, it's not really fully clear from the ground too much these days with the trees and other foliage and things of that rising up. But still, it's a fun thing to check out. Definitely something that is missed by most we find that come in this area. So just kind of a fun little thing. Walt Disney Imagineering making its mark, as the Imagineers always do in the park. All right, next on our tour is just kind of one piece to focus on, but as kind of a part of a bigger thing, which is the Jack Lindquist Lantern, which is here in Goofy's Garden. So Jack Lindquist, former Disneyland president, and this is, you know, kind of just a hidden little gem back here to dedicate to him, somebody that had a profound impact on the parks. But the point of kind of bringing this is not just that one secret, but just this Toontown is just filled with so many of these little homages and fun things. One thing to note just on the character meet and greets in these houses, I mean, they can visit, the kids can visit with Mickey and Minnie, I mean, the adults as well. The lines get a little ferocious back here. I definitely still think the Thunder Ranch area, if you watched our previous videos on Frontierland, could be a much better meet and greet opportunity in terms of lines and all of that. But that being said, you can't beat the many little fun details and cartoony things that you can find here. And so we're not going to go through and look at every little teaser or every little Easter egg within the this part of the park, but there is so much of it, and I think this is just a good one to focus in on. There's no sign, obviously. It's just something that either you know or you don't know. There's some things that are more obvious, some things that are less obvious, but if you just have fun with finding kind of Easter eggs, you really can't beat Toontown, a lot of things they have going on here. And that might be a good idea then if your kids want to see the characters and you are looking for a way to have a little fun with it yourself. You can play little scavenger hunt games and things like that as you make your way through the queues. But again, if it's just wanting to get in and get out, maybe not the best place to go to visit those characters. All right, next up, kind of carrying on the theme of the last little segment there, Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin, I think, is one of my favorite lines, really, in all of the park, just because there are so many hidden things in here. That being said, it is a tough line in terms of the many hidden zigzags. So on a day like today, it's a 50-minute wait. You really know what you're getting into. Even with Fast Pass, that's not always the quickest version. Definitely a lot better than 50 minutes, but it's not one of the best Fast Pass situations, in my opinion. But that being said, on those days when you come in and it says 10 minutes, 15 minutes, be careful, because we found several times that the time is actually double that, and you really can't know till you get inside. That being said, as I said, the queue is great. There's so many hidden things, again, in it. A lot of fun. Take your time with it and try and use that as a diversion if you are stuck in the line to enjoy it. I know on days that we've come where it's been walk-on, we'll take our time just making our way through the queue anyway to kind of appreciate those things. As we are recording this, there's lots of rumors that Toontown may be going away and that a Star Wars land of some sort might come here. I mean, rumors are always out and about and things like that. And I think Toontown's been the focus of a lot of them because it's not necessarily everybody's, classic land like obviously most of the rest of the park. I think a lot of people can imagine a future without Toontown. That being said, it is kind of hard to imagine a future without Roger Rabbit's Cartoon Spin because it's such a unique ride. It's something we have here at Disneyland for ourselves, and I think it's something people would really hate to see leave. So that being said, I know we've rode it a little bit more lately just in case it does go away. Want to be ready for that, but definitely a must ride. If you're not from the local area, maybe you haven't made your way to Disneyland as much, or just you're not a local, definitely it's a ride to go on a few times. It's nice. It does have a fast pass, and it's on a different fast pass system. So whereas some of the other rides are all connected, this one is on a separate system. So theoretically, you could have a fast pass for a ride in DCA, a ride in Disneyland that's not Roger Rabbit, and then also Roger Rabbit. So 3 at the same time. Not that that's necessarily the easiest thing to do, just geographically making your way around the park, but it is something to be aware of. Next up on our tour through Toontown is just a little strategy one. A couple years ago, it's about a year and a half ago, It's a Small World holiday was going on. Got a bunch of video of it, wanted to post immediately like we try to do in real time, and could not get any kind of signal to upload anything pretty much anywhere except right here in Toontown. In particular, back by the Toontown City Hall area, those tables were really good to us. And since that time, we found on those really busy summer days or Christmas holidays when signal's particularly bad, whatever network we've been on, that has been about the best place to go. So not that you necessarily want to make the trek all the way out here if you're in Adventureland and trying to get a signal, but it is something to be aware of. You might want to plan a break out here. The other thing, though, which is kind of contrary to that, is just that this part of the park, Toontown, it really doesn't have, as you can tell right here, this is late afternoon, it really doesn't have anywhere near the type of shading that's great as you get on those hot days. So it's kind of a concrete jungle out here with minimal tree coverage like this, minimal little tenting areas and umbrellas and things like that. So that can kind of be tough. But again, midsummer, December, all of that when it's really crazy busy, we've always had good luck getting signal out here for whatever reason. So obviously that can change at any time, but it's something maybe to think about and something to just kind of file away. All right, we are going to wrap up our time here in Toontown, just looking a little bit at this center square area where the gag warehouse and all of that is. There's just a lot of little fun things, doorknobs that burst, hidden areas to take pictures in, all sorts of noise and interactive things for kids to play with. Again, it can be really hot out here, especially in the summer, and there's not a ton of shade, so be advised of that. But I think this kind of wraps up best what Toontown is, which is a lot of little kind of fun hidden things for kids and families primarily. As I said about making your way through the very interactive queues that they have where there's lots of things to see and do. That's most of what Toontown is. I mean, outside of Roger Rabbit and the coaster in the back, there's not really much to do except walk around and see things and press buttons that make silly sounds and things like that. But that being said, it is also something not to be missed if you've never taken time, and we know we have lots of friends that are frequent visitors to the park that really never make their way back here to check anything out. And we've brought them a few times just to show them some of the fun little interactive things, and they've actually enjoyed that. But I think it's an easy thing to be dismissive of. So if you're looking for something without lines, this is kind of a good part of the park to go and just roam and wander and take pictures and things like that. Maybe not going through the houses because those will be busy lines and things like that. But we're going to wrap up with Toontown here, as I said off the top of the video and in the videos prior to this. Please leave any comments that you have of other suggestions, things that you think are must-dos or great secrets or tips for Toontown here in the comment section on our YouTube page. So we'll wrap up here, and until next time, we'll see you in line somewhere.